Hey everyone, this is a 4-month update on my YouTube journey so far as a musician. And I can't actually even believe that it's been 4 months already. That seems like time has just flown by through that whole just period, and that's crazy. But it's true. It's been 4 months. So I want to cover a few things that just have changed since the last video I made, and you can check that video out if you didn't see it. But one thing that I was concerned about when that video was happening is because it was Christmas time and you have a lot less songs that people are focusing on during Christmas, your views end up being up. And I wasn't sure if that was going to continue on, if that trend was going to keep pushing through after Christmas was over. So the nice thing is it does seem like, I mean, it has taken a dip for sure, but it doesn't seem like it's as bad as I was anticipating, because I was thinking it might just totally nosedive and we wouldn't have very many views at all. But it's been okay, so that's good. I've been sticking with a schedule still of 3 long form videos a week. That's Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, and then I'm posting a short every day of the week. But the long form content on Sundays, I used to do like a set of a few different songs put together, and just for current time right now, I'm trying just doing it as individual songs to see how that goes, and I might bring back those other sets after as well. But for right now, I'm just trying it out with individual covers, and maybe see how that goes for the next little bit. But we're gonna flip over right now, just get right to it into my analytics, and show you how that's going. So we'll take a look here. You can see that we are at 259 subscribers, which is actually 100 subscribers more than we had at this point in time last month. And that's significant, because I thought with Christmas hitting that big rise, I think it was about 120 subscribers I got during that 2 to 3 month mark. To see 100 subscribers still within that month after basically Christmas has happened is a big deal. So I'm happy. I'm glad to see that. And I think that the thing is with YouTube, as you see those subscribers go up, and as your subscribers watch your videos when they come out, it does tend to push the algorithm to allow more people to see your video. So it does see that there's traction there from your subscribers, and then it allows more people to jump in and see that as well. Now, speaking of subscribers, something that I don't do often on this channel, because I don't want to feel like I'm trying to sell my channel to people. I want people who want to be here to subscribe. But if you haven't subscribed and you're watching this video, I would absolutely appreciate that. You can see videos like this one. I've been putting them out every single month to kind of give you an update on how things are going on my journey. So if you're doing the same thing, you can kind of compare your progress to mine, and hopefully also get encouraged to continue on in this journey, because it's not always the easiest thing to do. But as far as right now, I put out just covers of songs. I do some original songs. I do videos like this, and there's a couple other videos here and there that go out as well. Just other things that I find interesting. So if that's something that interests you and you want to be here for that, I would love to have you here. I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel, and ultimately have you here along for the journey. So, and thank you so much, honestly, to everyone who's subscribed so far and continues to watch, especially those of you who are commenting on my videos and liking them. That goes a long way. It's realistically, it's probably not a lot of time or effort from your end, but for me, it means a lot to have people interact with my videos and show their support in that way. So thank you so much for all of you who've been doing that, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you again. We can also take a look and see what we're looking at. So as you can see in my top content in this period, which is the past 28 days, most of my top viewed videos are shorts. So as I've said before in the past, shorts are a huge thing to leverage, because there are some people who only view shorts. They don't go and they look at long form content. They just want to kind of scroll as they do on Instagram or Facebook or whatever else they're used to using, TikTok, and they want to be able to just get content quickly. And that's sort of the nature of how a lot of social media platforms are working now and what people are used to. So to have these shorts laid out every single day, you get to interact with a bunch of people. And as you can see here, for some of these, you still have a tail end of some of the Christmas stuff here, but there's a good amount of them that are over 400 views, which is great. That's more subscribers than I have on my channel, and I'm getting those interactions from people who are watching these videos. And you can see a good number of them are close to that 40% view duration, which is what they say is a good average of people to watch for your video, and some of them are even above that at 50%. So that's really great to see. If I actually go into some of the more recent views here, you can see that currently this Build My Life video that was posted today is getting pushed right now by the algorithm, which is great. It's already got 124 views, and those are still coming in. And then you can see a few other videos are getting some views. This video here was the one I talked about in the past that had my highest number of views. So you can see here the analytics for that video. It's had almost 5,000 views, which is just unreal. I think that's more views than all my other videos combined, and it's done really well, and it continues to perform. So even though you can see here in the past 48 hours it's had 45 views, that video itself with 45 views is getting more views than most of the new content that I'm putting out, and just continues to see that watch time and the views coming in, which is fantastic. So every once in a while you'll have a video like that, a video that just outperforms all the other ones on your channel, and I don't know if you can really predict those kind of things, but I'm grateful to have that video perform so well compared to all the other videos that I have, and I think it's done a good job of just drawing people into my channel and seeing what's going on. So there's that one. I've got a bunch of other newer videos that I've done, and you know, they're getting some views here and there. Nothing like super significant, but the nice thing with the nature of the videos that I'm putting out, and this is going to depend on the content that you choose to release, these videos will get views over time, right? So if you're doing, you know, an unboxing of a toy or something that's just relevant at a certain season, then you may get a lot more views up front, but not as many later on. But for something like this, there are some songs that are going to stand the test of time better than others. So ones that are maybe performing well for the time that they're released, if you were able to jump on that and get your video in at the front end of people liking that song, then you may get a lot of views up front, and that may trickle off over time. But you may have other songs that have already stood the test of time, or that will stand the test of time, that you'll continue to get views for over and over again. And if you're doing just other videos, maybe you know, how-to or techniques on certain things, or just making your own kind of comedy content, whatever it is, if it's something that really catches an audience, then you may continue to get those views for years and years to come. So I think it's important, even as you're planning these kind of things out, to kind of think of those a little bit. I mean, again, I don't think you can necessarily predict if a video is going to perform well just for a longer period of time, but just to consider as you're planning what videos you're making, think to yourself, is this, like, do I know that this is going to be just a temporary video that people are going to watch? Like, is there a short expiry date almost on this content being interesting, or is it something that I could potentially see people watching for years to come? And if you can do that, I think that's beneficial. You may not get all the views right up front, but that will continue to build up over time. And it's helpful to have a few of those videos, I think, within your catalog of content, to make sure that there's just something that's continually drawing people in to see your videos. If we move now to take a look, so you can see there's two things to mention here, and this is going to kind of tie in with the idea of the ups and downs. Like, the one thing that I've learned over these 4 months is you don't wake up every day and say to yourself, you know what, I'm just really excited right now to make some videos. Like, it's just not every day. And I do have the pleasure and the privilege of making content that I love, and even though not every day is a real thrill to necessarily jump into, I think when you're actually in it making the content, there is a certain excitement, a certain love for it that continues to push that forward. There's other parts of the process too, like the editing side, that may not be as enjoyable, but for the most of it, I do enjoy what I'm doing, and I think that's important to find. But what I have noticed outside of the Christmas season is you do have certain days where you'll notice that, for instance, subscribers, you'll have a day, okay, there's 9 subscribers that joined on the 1st of January. That's fantastic. The following day, 0 subscribers. The day after that, 0 subscribers. The day after that, 12. Wow, that's great. The day after that, 0 subscribers. The day after that, 0 subscribers, right? So you have this up and down roller coaster, and I don't think that you can just mentally position yourself in a way where you're depending on seeing these results to determine whether you're doing well or not. Because if I'm looking at a day like January 2nd or January 3rd, then I'm going to think, oh, I must be doing a terrible job because I'm only getting, I'm not getting any subscribers those days. But if you look at the days around it with 9 subscribers and 12 subscribers, well, those are great days on my channel. So you have to be able to sort of look at things over a period of time, and that's something that these videos have actually been beneficial for me personally. Is you can look at something and say, all right, maybe I didn't notice all these subscribers coming in, but then you sit there and you think, wow, it's been 100, there's 100 new subscribers from the last one of these videos to this one, and that's a big deal. But unless you take a step back and look at those things, you're just going to keep wrapping yourself up in the day-to-day sort of struggle of am I getting subscribers coming in? Do people care about what I'm doing? And I think it's important to kind of just fix your mental outlook of running a channel with, I need to look at things from a step back and look at things over a period of time rather than day to day. Even for things like views over the Christmas season, the views I was getting were practically over 1,000 all the time over a 48-hour period. It didn't really dip below that, and that was great to have. That was a good season. But if I'm expecting that moving out of that Christmas season, then I'm going to disappoint myself, because there's been a lot of times where this number has been 300 or 400 over a 48-hour period, because you post a short and the algorithm doesn't push it till like a day after or the day after that, or maybe it doesn't even push it at all. There's been a couple of shorts here, and we can take a look, that I've posted, and you have a lot of them around that 400 mark, which is great. But this one here didn't hit, over 100. You get this one here that only got to 67. And for whatever reason, the algorithm seems to skip those videos and it didn't push them. So within that 48-hour period, this is not going to reflect as well in those numbers as other videos will. So you kind of have to prepare yourself for that sometimes you're not going to get these numbers that you maybe did get for even a period of time or a stretch of time. So when you see this here and you've got these views coming in, that's fantastic. Like right now, currently you can see that one of the shorts is being pushed, but that's not going to be consistent over the 48-hour period. That's going to be something that fluctuates as, videos are being shown and people are interacting with them. And over that last video, I said there was periods of time where you could go across this entire scale and you wouldn't see a single zero for any of the hours. Like it was at least one for every single time period. And now you can go through and you can find zeros again. So does that mean that my channel has now taken a step back from what was happening? No, I think I have to view that as that Christmas season is an exceptional period of time where you have more views coming in because of the content that's there. And not every bit of content that gets made is going to be like that. You're not going to have every single type of video that you put out that's going to depend more or get more views within a particular season. But there are some things, again, if we go back to this idea of like unboxing toys or demonstrating that, you may see during Christmas that there's a skyrocket in those views because people are looking at Christmas gifts to get their kids, or the kids themselves are looking at these for gifts for themselves. And even though you see that huge increase during that period of time, when it comes back down after, when you hit January and it takes a nosedive there, you can't now say, oh, well, my content must be worse because I'm not getting the views that I was getting last month. No, you have to see that as that period of time is an exceptional period of time where your views are going up just because of the nature of what's happening in everyone else's lives during that time of the year. So I think, again, a lot of this journey has been teaching me and showing me perspective on how to look at these things. And I think it's a good thing for everyone who's doing this to kind of look at their own YouTube journey the same way. Like look at the progress that's happened over a wider period of time, month to month, or over a 3-month period of time or a 6-month period of time, and see what that progress has been to know where you've come from. For example, if I go and I set this now from 28 days to 365 days or even 90 days, you can see where this came from, right? Like you've got views here that were all under 100. That's just where it was. There's not much going on there. And then boom, you hit all of these views in here. Well, I can look at this and say, well, there's bigger views during this period of time, 800, 700. That's over 1,000 that day. Wow, that's amazing, right? Over 1,000 at the beginning of January. Great, great, great. And then, oh, it's come back down now. So what should I do? Should I just wallow in my sorrow because my views have come down? No, because if I look back to where I was over here, where I couldn't even hit 100 views in one day, well, this progress has been great. This progress is really showing itself over this scale of time instead of just looking at a very brief period in time. And same thing with watch hours. Okay, so you can see here there's a huge increase when you hit the end of November till the end of December. Well, that's that same Christmas period that we were talking about being exceptional, right? And now the view watch hour time has come way down because people are not watching as much of the long form videos. They're watching more of the shorts, and the shorts are only going to be a minute long each. So even if people are watching the full short, it's not like they're watching an 8-minute long video or something like that to bring those watch hours up. So you can see where these view watch hour times have come down compared to that Christmas season. But again, I have to look at that as that Christmas season is exceptional rather than looking at the time now as being some sort of a step back or something to be disappointed in. One of the other things that's important to mention is you will get people who will, follow what you're doing, and that's great. I'm again really grateful for those of you who've commented and liked and really interacted with the content that I'm putting out. But you'll get other people, like I make Christian content, and you get people who will come and make comments about Christian faith from a negative perspective. And I think for a lot of people at least, the way to interact with that is to either delete it so no one sees it, or react poorly to the comment that's made. But from my perspective, that person still took the time to make a comment on your video. Whether it's negative or not, I think it's worth interacting. So I take pleasure in interacting with people, especially from just a perspective of my own faith, to share with them why I've come to certain conclusions on things that's different from the conclusions that they've come to. But you sort of use that platform to not only de-escalate to some degree the comment that they've made, but also to show your character. Like, it's hard sometimes when you're just making videos for people to get to know who you are. But with comments like that, it gives you the opportunity to share that, right? To say, even when there's some sort of adversity in the comments, or some sort of negative intention maybe with the comment that's happened, you have the opportunity to show who you are as a person to a further extent than just making the actual videos that you're posting. So I hope that if you're getting those, that you take those opportunities, that you don't let them discourage you, but you allow yourself to interact with people who have, again, taken the time to comment and watch your videos, and use that time to interact with those people as well for your own just personal gain and benefit, instead of letting that be something that tears you down. And it can be easy to let that happen, for sure, but I think it's important as you're doing this. Like, that's the nature of what it is to be online, right? You're going to have people who are going to share their opinion. Some people are going to remain sort of anonymous when they do that, but they are still taking the time to interact with your content. And whether they're leaving a bad comment or a good comment, they're giving it a thumbs up or thumbs down, it's still an interaction, right? It's still a view, it's still watch time, and hopefully it's not something that is destructive to your time just making videos, but it's something that's actually can be used to help grow you as a person, and show who you are to those who are following you on your channel. So I think that's about it for right now, as far as an update from where I'm at with this whole growth. And again, most of this is just to kind of show you, so you can compare subscriber count and views and things like that with my channel compared to yours, and what you're doing, and hopefully have a bit of a realistic perspective on how this all goes. And like I said before, I hope that if you haven't subscribed and you like what's going on, that you will, and that you'll join me on this journey. But ultimately, that this has been an encouragement to you. So thank you so much if you've made it all the way through this video to this point and you're still watching. I appreciate that, and hopefully this again has been something that's benefited you. So thank you again. I will see you next month with another update, And as always, love you guys.